Supply and demand, like any other force in capitalism, has its consequences. So to find out how those impact everyday people in the city, we interviewed Rochelle LaForest at the Right to the City Alliance. Check it out.
Now, Rochelle, can you tell us a little about what is Right to the City? What does the organization do, and what was its purpose?
So Right to the City is a multi-issue, multiracial alliance of 52 member organizations throughout the United States. Founded in 2007 as a unified response to the gentrification that our founding member groups were seeing sweeping throughout their communities. When you look at our work, it has a lot to do with housing. But gentrification is not just about housing, it's about the shift of the entire face and function of a neighborhood. So we would say no, you have every right to stay and live right where you are, especially low-income communities of color who tend to be those who are very easily pushed out. When cities, when urban spaces are reimagined, it is people such as yourself, myself, the constituencies of our member organizations who get the shaft, who get booted out and set aside, and who are really uprooted from the fabric of everything that they've known, many of them for decades and decades, in order for that other vision to become reality. And we think that that's bullshit. The world is too advanced for that. We are all just too advanced for this already. And so our work is to diversify how we take on this fight. Some of it looks like policy fights, some of it looks like grassroots direct action, some of it looks like dreaming up and experimenting with alternative forms of housing, alternative housing models, community land trusts, limited equity cooperatives, all kinds of different models for housing that actually allow for housing to be accessible and affordable to people.
A key theme of what the work you do and some of the themes that you've touched on is the way that market forces can disrupt communities and displace people. So to go down from the community level to the individual level, do you have any stories of displacement that people should know about, that, you know, some of these big forces at work?
Mm-hmm. The people who share their stories talk about, they haven't even been displaced, but the threat of displacement, the idea that everything that their whole identity and humanity has been tied up in and connected to would be stripped away from them and from their children. It hasn't even happened, and the pain that they go through just thinking about what that would mean and what it would look like. And it's not even, you know, oh, then I'd have to go find another place. And, you know, there's a lot of aggravation and pain that comes with the thought of having to move. But we're talking about people who, we get tied to our homes. We are tied to where our lives take place. And we shouldn't have to give that up, and we shouldn't have to have that ripped from our hands and from, you know, from our identities, because it's a huge part of how we love, how we live, and who we are.
Well, you heard it here first. Ladies and gentlemen, capitalism has consequences for everyday people. And Rochelle LaForest, we thank you for your work and the work of Right to the City. And I also accept your invitation to come back to the city, as long as I get 1,000 square feet for under $1,000.
We're working on it.